Hello friends, welcome back to Cosmopolitan Cornbread. So we have had, oh my goodness, we got so much rain last night. I was actually a little concerned this morning because we weren't supposed to get any rain yesterday. The weather forecast had been showing rain today, but not showing anything yesterday. And the rain started yesterday afternoon. It rained all night long. And the forecast was still showing rain all day today. Well, what concerned me was when I got up this morning and I headed outside to do chores, the creek was already overflowing its banks. So we have gotten somewhere around 8 inches of rain overnight, and it's going to rain all day today. This is pretty bad. I hope it doesn't get worse. Like, we ain't coming out. Nope, ain't coming out. I don't blame you, Sophie. This is a lot of rain all at once. As I was finishing up chores, we have buckets and we have things outside that kind of helps us have an idea of how much rain we get. And we had gotten approximately somewhere between 8 and 9 inches of rain in the previous 12 hours. And looking at an entire day of rain ahead, and with the creek already looking like it was, frankly, I was praying that we would not have a situation like we saw in Appalachia a few months ago. We live in the mountains. When you get a lot of rain, it can cause other things to happen. It can cause flooding and all of those things, and it was just a little, well, yeah. But as I went about the day, finished up chores, and I needed to run into the city today, and as I left the house, late morning, the rain stopped. And even though the forecast was showing basically 90 to 100% chance of rain all day long, through 8 o'clock this evening, it stopped. and we hadn't had any rain since, and so the creek finally started going down. So I was very grateful and thanking the Father for the rain stopping. So what I want to share with y'all today is something that I have used for years to keep myself organized with life. I'm really big on trying to keep things organized, whether it is my pantry, which will be an upcoming video. We're going to revisit the pantry again, or my dishes, or the contents in the kitchen drawers, or, you know, just whatever it is. I have my cookbooks organized by categories. My oils on their storage shelf are organized by different things. My spices are all in alphabetical order, with the exception of the 4 big ones that all sit together. You know, I'm really big on organization, and again, this planner system is what I've been using for many years to keep life organized. And so I haven't talked about this in a really long time. I think maybe since the first year we had our homestead in Alabama. So I thought I would take this opportunity to share with y'all about it, particularly since I just refreshed my planner. So I'm going to move the camera and bring you down right here to the counter so that you can get a good look at this, and I'll kind of walk you through what I do. Alright, so this leather cover that you see here, I bought from Etsy, and actually this is the first one that I purchased. It has a leather band that goes around it to keep it closed, and on the inside you can see there are elastic bands that you would use to hold little notebooks so that you can continually refill this, put in new books as you use them up. And as you can see, it's just a simple leather cover. And after I purchased it, I used my wood burner to put my initials in there. And this was the first time I had used my wood burner on leather. And I was surprised at how fast it burned in, how quickly it branded the leather. And so you can see where I had actually scrubbed it because it had kind of burned it a little bit. And actually, I kind of like the look of that. So I have thought about doing that to my other one, but you can see I used this thing for years. You can see just how it's kind of worn and aged and has just that beautiful leather look. It looked like brand new leather when I got it, and I used this one for years. But then a couple of years ago, I got this one, and it was the same person who made them. They don't have their Etsy shop anymore, but you can find tons of shops that make these. You can find them all over the place. They're called Traveler's Notebooks. And this one here that I had originally held 4 notebooks, but I decided that I wanted to get one that held just a few more. And so I ordered this one, and again, I've got the elastic band around here. Now, I do every so often have to replace these bands. I just have a spool of this elastic cording. Now, the one that I have here, it's not quite as thick as the original, but you know, I got a whole spool of it with, you know, a couple 100 feet of it, so I can change it whenever I need to. It's not a big deal, but so I've got the band on the outside, but this one can actually hold up to 8 of these little notebooks that I have in here. Now, these are called, these notebooks are the Moleskine Cahiers notebooks. And these ones are 5 inches across by about 8 1/4 in height. And so that is the size that I have. They used to have a different name or, I don't know, identity, model number, what have you. I think it was like A5 or A2. I don't remember. But the size was 5 inches by 8 1/4, so whatever it was called, this is the size that I use, or that this takes. And let's move you down here a little bit. Now, like I said, this particular traveler's notebook that I have here can hold up to 8, but I don't necessarily need that many. Occasionally I'll put a couple more in there, but generally I just use 5 for the most part. And you know, these notebooks here come in all different colors, but for a long time I used only red ones. But lately, you can get different colors, and they might be $1 or $2 cheaper for, you know, a pack of 3 or whatever they come in. And so I'm not too married to a specific color, and so I just changed up a little bit to save a couple bucks. But again, I have 5 of these notebooks in here, and you can kind of see them there. And I'll show you generally what I personally do. Now, I have tried over the years all different kinds of planners. I've used, you know, pre-made ones, cheap ones, kind of pricier ones, and none of them ever really did what I needed them to do, or I never felt comfortable enough with them that I would want to stick with them and use them over and over again. But I started using this system somewhere around, gosh, 2015 maybe. And it's just worked for me. I've stuck with this ever since. And originally I did what was called bullet journaling, where you used like bullet points and all of that. And I did that method a couple of years, but over time it kind of changed and morphed into what I do now. So I'm going to show you what I do, and then, you know, maybe this will inspire you and you can come up with a system that works for you. Now, so the first book that I have here is the planner. I have my calendar in here. I have events, you know, whatever needs to be taking place calendar-wise will go in here. And I'll give you a look at that in a minute. The second one is blog and videos. So I have kind of a running list of things that I want to do blog posts about, or something that I want to film a video about. Because, you know, maybe I'm out and about and I'm doing things and I have an idea jump into my head, but if I don't write it down, I'm going to forget about it. And later on, I'll be thinking, oh, I need to do a video. What was that great idea I had earlier? And I totally can't remember it. So I have this notebook specifically for video ideas, blog ideas, and all of that. And I have different sections in there, like recipe ideas and just all sorts of things. The next book here, this is again one of my newer ones that I actually just put this one in here. And this one is home ec ideas. Homemaker helps. They kind of go together, and recipes. A couple of years ago in Alabama, I had started doing a video series of home ec lessons. And then later in the year, we began moving. Life was crazy, and I tried to kind of keep up with home ec videos while we were in the process of moving. I just couldn't keep up with it. And then honestly, I just sort of forgot about them. And I went to that women's conference a couple of weeks ago, and when I was there, I had a lady come up to me and told me how much that her and her kids loved the home ec videos. And I was like, oh, I need to start doing those again. So I actually just did this whole notebook. I had another one previously. I had home ec stuff in with a whole bunch of other notes, but I made this book specifically home ec lessons. And well, the first part of the notebook is home ec lessons. And so I have got lists of different lessons to do, different videos, topics to cover in the videos, and all of that. You can see I've got a couple of pages of those. Continuing kind of in the kitchen skills where I had left off, and then also working on home life skills, laundry, basic cleaning techniques and things like that, and just generally keeping the home. which is why I'm kind of considering relabeling this whole category homemaker helps or something to do with the home, not just necessarily home ec. But this is something that I'm going to start picking up again. And then further in the back of this same book, I have recipes. Recipes that I'm working on developing, that I'm, kind of in the modifying stage. And, this is where I take my notes when I'm coming up with them, when I'm making changes and doing all of that. And generally, my recipes will end up in here before they will go into a video and on my website. And so this is full of all sorts of recipes. The next notebook is one that I just put in here. It's brand new. And this one is for just general notes. So if I'm at some sort of conference and I need to take notes for a topic that a speaker is teaching on, this is where I can take my notes. And this is something that I've been doing for years. I keep all of those notebooks, and when I start using it, I will put the date when I start using it, and then when I have filled it up, I'll put the finishing date. And then I keep these all together in a cabinet. And because there has been times where I've needed to go back and refer to notes from a class that I've taken or something along those lines, and I'll remember what year it was that I took the class, and then I can go back, pull out the notebook that is from that year, from that time frame, and refer to the notes that I had taken. So general notes, as I fill it up, I just put in a new one, put in the dates, and just keep on going. And then the last one that I have is Bible study notes. Things that I'm studying, things that I'm going through. I actually have a sort of a devotional kind of video that I have the notes for here that I have not filmed. So this is something I will be filming in the future called Don't Follow Your Heart. A little bit of counter the narrative, you might say. This notebook is actually just about completely full, so I'm going to have to replace this one pretty soon. And again, when I replace it, I will put the date on there and keep on going. So 5 books, each one of them has its own purpose. Each one of them can be replaced as it's filled up without having to replace the entire thing. That is one of the challenges of regular planners to me, that, maybe I'm done with the calendar part, but then I still have tons of pages for the notes, or vice versa. This way, I only have to replace what I've used up, and everything else can still stay in here. So let me show you the planner portion. The first thing I do is, first of all, I'll leave a couple blank pages in the front of it just for things that I might need to remember later on in the year, and so I can just make a note of it up here in the front. So then I will mark a page, and I'll use this Moshi tape stuff to mark a new month. And so here we have January 2025, and then all down the side, you can maybe see here, I put 1 through 31 for January, and then very small, I'll just put the first letter of what day of the week that is. And then each row is for that day of the week. I can write down appointments, I can write down birthdays, whatever. Women's retreat, I'll be gone these days. Asia Standard pickup, all of these things. And I have a bookmark that has my mark for exactly where I'm at in this particular book. And then after I have this kind of like the month at a glance, after that I have 2 weeks at a time. And I do a row up here that's just for notes, things that I need to know about that week. I have 1 week, and I have, as you can see, I've got some of them highlighted these are days that generally I will do a video. I actually just completely redid, well, I just did this notebook, set it up, and I did not do a video on Monday on the 20th, so there's not one there. I think I started this particular notebook on the 21st. And so here I have the skillet lasagna that I did on the 22nd. I have the tribute to my friend Julie that went up on the 24th. And then down here for the next week, I will make notes of things that I need to do, videos I might try and get filmed that week, blog posts I might need to get done that week. And then as I get them filmed or written or scheduled, I will write them down in ink. Now, prior them to being actually completed, I have them on a sticky note because I've learned in the past, if I put it in ink and I don't get to that particular video, well, now I'm scribbling and I'm making a mess in my notebook. So I put it on a post-it note. If for some reason I don't get to it this week, I can just take this post-it note and I can go to the next week and I can slap it in one there. Well, but this is the end of January, so the next page here is February. Again, I have the days, I have the day of the week, and then I just start filling in my calendar what I have going on that month. And then here I've got sticky notes for some videos or some blog posts that I would probably like to get done this month. So as I start basically penciling them in on my schedule, I will take those and move the post-it notes in here. Again, when I get them filmed and edited and scheduled and they're ready to go, that's when I put them in ink. And yeah, a few years ago while we were in Alabama, I actually had an entire month of videos up and scheduled, and it was wonderful because it gave me such a buffer that, you know, if something happened and I couldn't get anything filmed, there were still videos going up and I wasn't messing up my schedule because y'all, I hate not getting videos up when they're supposed to. And I know that so far this year it's been a little chaotic and I've been missing some videos. Sometimes life gets crazy, you know, so I'm working on trying to get a buffer once again of some videos. That way I don't miss out on the schedule. I like to have videos when I say there's going to be videos. So here we have February, looking into, you know, the next month, and it just kind of continues to go on. I mark the new month with the Moshi tape, the month at a glance, and then 2 weeks at a time. And each month when I do the lines for the calendar, I do it in a different color. That way I can quickly see, oh, I turned too many pages. I'm in the wrong month. And I can go back to the other one. And I will put up at the top here what date range these 2 pages are. So what 2 weeks of the calendar is incorporated right here, and I put that right there at the top. But that is it, you guys. So this is how I do my own planner, my traveler's notebook. With the bullet journal, you would have kind of your month at a glance and you would fill it in, and then the pages after that would be all of the notes and things that you would do for that month. But then I would find myself needing to start putting stuff on the calendar for the next month, and I would have to estimate, well, how many more pages am I going to need of notes before the next month? And sometimes I wouldn't have enough, sometimes I would have too many, and then I would have pages wasted. And so by doing it this way, having one book that is the calendar and another book that is for the notes, and then all of my other notebooks that I've added in, this just works for me. So if you are interested in trying something like this, like I said, you can find tons of these leather traveler's notebooks on Etsy. You can probably find them on Amazon too. Different styles, like there'll be some that have little pockets on the inside for business cards and stuff like that. But they're relatively inexpensive, and this is real leather. And like I said, this has lasted me for years and years, and it works for me. So that is it, friends. This is how I do my best to stay organized with life. My notes, my ideas, and all of that. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below and I will try my best to answer them. I have a cat playing down here with some toys on the floor. But yeah, that's it. So thanks for joining me here again at the homestead. My name is Constance from Cosmopolitan Cornbread. God bless, and I'll talk to y'all next time.